So they're going to continue to do my boy Gambit dirty, right? Like Gambit did absolutely nothing in this episode. Nothing. Nothing. He did nothing. In case you didn't know, Gambit is my favorite X-Men, okay? And once again, he absolutely did nothing. He didn't address Rogue about what happened. He didn't address Magneto. It's like he just did nothing. I mean, even Morph was like poking fun at him, and it's like, dang man, my boy Gambit is going through it. Man, I was very disappointed. But all in all, I mean, I did enjoy this episode. Outside of that, I enjoyed this episode. All right, of X-Men 97. All right, episode 3. A lot of stuff going on. They picked off from at the end of episode 2 where Jean showed up at the door. Knock knock. I need the X-Men. Oh, let me faint. Oh, let me faint. And you know what? I mean, hey, that's what Jean does. She can't help it. That's what she does. She cannot help it. You would have think that she would have logged enough time in the danger room, enough hours to where she was able to build up her stamina. Like, it's one thing to be able to, like, if you're using your superhero powers, that's going to require a lot of energy from you. Okay, I understand that. But just knocking on the door and fainting, you know what I'm saying? And fainting, like what if Morph didn't catch her? And and I think what's gonna have to happen is somebody is gonna have to just let her fall to the ground. They're gonna have to let her fall to the doggone ground so that way, listen, stop depending on other people to pick you up. Okay? Carry yourself. You can fly, you can make yourself levitate or whatever. So that right there, man, it's a trip. But what really tripped me out, you gotta excuse me, I'm looking at some of my notes here because I can't possibly memorize everything, people. But when Beast, like, I don't know. To me, Beast is too unnecessary dramatic in here. But in this situation, I understand why he was dramatic. So he took a test, a DNA sample from both genes, Jean. Both genes or whatever. And he said, "Oh, this one right here that's laying down, this is the real Gene right here." And some people criticize his bedside manner because he's Dr. Hank McCoy. He's a doctor, and you expect the doctor to have some type of high level of or decent level of bedside manner, right? You don't want your doctors all being like Christina Yang on Grey's Anatomy, who had no bedside manner whatsoever. But you know what I'm saying? What he did was he revealed who the real Gene was and the fake one was in front of everybody. And some people were like, you know what? He could have just pulled fake Gene to the side or the real Gene to the side or whatever. I think, yeah, they were saying he could have just pulled fake Gene to the side and say, hey, something's going on with your results and all this. But I understand why he wanted an audience because what's Gene's powers? She can manipulate your mind. All right? What if you're Beast? Why in the hell would you go pull her to the side, and then matter of fact, before you say what you gonna say, she can tell what you about to say because she can read your thoughts. So Beast cares about his life, and that's a smart man right there. In that situation, he cared about his life. He's like, hey, if she's gonna off me, it's not gonna be over there. It's gonna be why everybody else can see this. All right. And if she offs me, well then guess what? I'm expecting somebody else to help. When you think about it, if she were to have off Beast, she would have just passed out, right? but Beast, he had another moment where I didn't like what he was doing. So we find out that, okay, Mr. Sinister is involved with this. He takes DNA samples of the baby, and was it samples of the baby or a sample of Madeline Pryor? One of them. And instead of him saying, oh my goodness, instead of him saying, oh, this is Mr. Sinister's work. How long it took for me to say this is Mr. Sinister's work? It took me what? I mean, how long would it have taken to just say, hey, it's Mr. Sinister's work? This is Mr. Sinister. Or he could have just said Sinister. They all know who Mr. Sinister is. Remember, this is a continuation of X-Men, the animated series, all right? But, like, Beast was so freaking dramatic. He's like, holy moly, oh my goodness. And they're like, what? Oh my goodness. Oh, they're like, what? This is something that is very, very diabolical and evil and like a villain. And they're like, who? This is Mr. Sinister. And it's like, it took you 15 to 20 seconds to say that, man. Come on, Beast. Like, time is of the essence. Number one, the episode is 31 minutes long. And also, as far as y'all time frame while y'all in the episode, okay, like, time matters. Time, lives can be taken away or extremely hurt based on, how quick or how slow you put out certain information. But after that, man, that episode there, man, it went from X-Men episode to a horror episode, and I liked it. It's that sinister tone, and it reminded me, I'm not gonna lie, it started to remind me of I thought about the New Mutants. Did y'all ever see the movie The New Mutants? It's a decent movie, but I remember in that movie initially they was gonna have Professor Xavier in that movie. They was going to have Mr. Sinister was gonna be in that movie. John Hamm was rumored to be cast as Mr. Sinister in that movie, and I really thought that, you know what, had they did that with that movie, it would have been a good movie or a very good movie. But I think it's an alright movie, but it would have been at least a good movie minimum. And that's the kind of tone in that stuff that happened in that movie, and your typical horror story movie where stuff is being haunted, they're playing mind games on you. You know what? It felt like Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what it felt like. You know how Freddy can mess with your mind, except that's when you're asleep. Well, Sinister was doing that while they was awake. That's gangster right there, man. Like, I mean, what they did, what he did to my boy Gambit. They showed Rogue and Magneto, like, it with their shirts off or whatever, and like they're in the Amazon. But when you think about it, they were in the danger room, supposedly in the danger room. So that might not have been something that Mr. Sinister had anything to do with. That might have been actually something that was actually going on. But anyways, that's something that that bothers Gambit, that affects him a lot. They just had a lot of different stuff, man. They had if you ever seen the movie not The Ring. Yeah, if you ever seen the movie The Ring, where the character, she comes out the doggone TV. They did that while Jubilee and Sunspot was watching TV. So I'm like, wow, man, they really doing it on here, man. So it was pretty creepy, and it's like, it makes me think, in the New Mutants, had they had Mr. Sinister in there, well then they could have been doing stuff like this. I thought that would have been pretty cool. And speaking of Mr. Sinister, it makes me double down even more on my theory on what I believe. I think Coleman Domingo should be Mr. Sinister. He did say he wants to be somebody that's nasty, that's a villain, And Mr. Sinister, his little faction that he has, his little group, they're called the Nasty Boys. All right, so you have that, and I could see Coleman Domingo being sinister and evil like that. He's a brilliant actor, so I think he should be cast as Mr. Sinister. But in this episode here, man, Cyclops is having some serious baby mama drama, man. I mean, you got Jean, OG Jean, who's returned, but you had a baby with Madeline Pryor. So it's like, oh my goodness, it's too many love triangles. Cause see, that's a love triangle within itself. And now that OG Jean is back, now we about to have this Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean love triangle. All right. And you also have the Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit love triangle, which I'm not gonna lie, Gambit is losing a lot, big time. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever since Magneto got in there, him and Rogue, Gambit and Rogue has barely spoken to each other. So I can't even call that a real love triangle yet. But it's just too much melodrama going on, man. But man, Scott got a baby, thinking you're having a happy life, and then bam, that's not the real Jean. But he should have known that, man. Like, real Jean is always passing out, But, maybe he thought her stamina improved or something. So I don't know. But we saw that Sinister was able to take the baby and Nathan and he said he made the baby indestructible. But of course, when you see somebody take your baby, you know what I'm saying? You're not trying to. All logic is all out the window. Why you messing with my baby, bro? You know, it's you ready to fight for that, But the baby ends up having some type of virus. Now I'm not sure if this is the same virus that you remember when, well, technically Cable, yeah, that is Cable. When Cable, the storyline where they had Cable Apocalypse and stuff about the virus that was affecting the mutants and stuff. So I'm not sure if that's the same virus or something that's even stronger. But Sinister says that the baby is going to be indestructible, and when Beast had the baby, he was trying to find a cure. He couldn't find anything. And the way I look at it, I mean, I don't know. How much time did Beast spend on that to try to find a cure for that virus? Or on whatever Mr. Sinister did to Nathan? But it's like, you're not going to call Bruce Banner. You're not going to call Tony Stark. You're not going to call Reed Richards. You're not going to call Peter Parker. You're not going to call T'Challa or Shuri or any of them for assistance on this. Doctor Strange or somebody. You just are Moira McTaggart. You're not going to call anybody. You're going to just trust that there's a cure for it in the future with Bishop. Now, I can't recall whether or not if Bishop said they had a guaranteed cure for it. I couldn't remember that. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it. Maybe y'all know. If you do know, comment in the put that in the comment section. But so Bishop is, Beast fixed Bishop's time watch. So now Bishop went back to his time frame. So hopefully they'll follow that to see how his future looks, or how his present looks, which is our future. So that way, because he mentioned that the way the future works, things change. When things change in the present or in the past, that affects the future. So how the future was prior to him leaving, coming to our present, it may be different. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. So hopefully they'll follow up on him. We did get to see Storm, all right, towards at the end. And Storm, she's not headed to Wakanda, y'all. Or if she was headed to Wakanda, she made a stop at this bar. But guess what? Now she got getting picked up by Forge. And from my understanding, in the comics, they have a relationship, and he helps her get her powers back. So as long as she gets her powers back, I'm fine. But I was actually looking forward to her going to Wakanda to link up with T'Challa. But I mean, I doubt they'll do that right now anyway, because I think it'll be better if she went back there and she has her powers. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully the next episode elaborates on that. I heard some people say in the comics, Forge was pretty abusive to her, and that lets you know that, yeah, he must have was being abusive towards her when she didn't have her powers, because Lord have mercy on the person's soul who be abusive to Storm and she has her powers. You know what I'm saying? So, but, and what's wild is that, I don't know, Bishop just left. So, I mean, the present Forge doesn't know Bishop, but in the future, Forge is like Bishop's tech guy, something like that. So that's interesting that Forge leaves, and then Bishop leaves. Now we being introduced to Forge, reintroduced to Forge, and you know what? That's 2 episodes in a row they did this, people. 2 episodes in a row where, all right, Storm loses her powers and she leaves. All right, but we still have Bishop. We got one black character, right? So Bishop leaves, and now Forge appears. But he appears with Storm, so now we're back to having 2 black actors on the show. So that's interesting. But Scott had left, and I don't blame him. He was an orphan, and he didn't want to give his son up. And I thought they made that decision too quick. Or, you know what, I would say, hey man, y'all can't figure out you can't recreate another time watch, but I guess if they could, they would have. But that right there, man, it felt so rushed. That right there felt so rushed, man. It's like, this is your newborn baby. You just went through this situation with Mr. Sinister, and in the midst of trying to recover from that, now you're forced to send your kid to the future with Bishop, which I don't know how trustworthy Cyclops trusts Bishop, but I mean, you can trust people to a certain extent. There's levels to trust. Trusting somebody to do their job is a lot different than somebody than trusting that person to help to take care of your kid. But that's interesting. So hopefully we'll see Cable pretty soon in here. So man, that's gonna be real interesting. What if Bishop goes back to his time and Cable's right there, and it was like, hey bro, that's baby me, or would he even recognize that's baby him? You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty trippy right there, man. A lot of stuff is going on. A lot of stuff is going on right there. Let's see what else I got here. Also, you know what? I know Bishop doesn't have the long hair in here, the mullet like he had in X-Men the animated series and in other different renditions of um of Bishop, but as he had Nathan and then he was about to go through that portal, dude looked just like Method Man. Have you ever seen Method Man cosplay as Bishop? And Method Man has been lobbying to play the role of Bishop for probably about the past 5-6 years, I think. Maybe longer than that. But I'm like, Method Man, I think they clearly modeled this Bishop after Method Man. I didn't see it until right there. I'm like, wow, he literally looks like Method Man right there. You can't deny that. But yeah, I would like to see Method Man play Bishop. I think Method Man is like in his like 51, 52 years old right now, but he could still play that role. He can play that role. Like Method Man can pass for like on in the movies, he can pass for a guy who's late 30s, early 40s or something, which I don't think Bishop is in his 20s, or shit, that's an old ass look at 20, right? But anyways, I could see Method Man pulling that role off, man. I think that'll be pretty cool, man. Anytime Sinister is going up against the Summers family, it always trips me out when it's like Cyclops, no matter what, he goes his extra hardest against Sinister. It's like, if you're Cyclops, you can't beat everybody. And let's say if everybody in the world can defeat you, there's one dude that you can always guarantee get a god doggone victory on, and knowing that your blast is going to really hurt the hell out of them. And that is Mr. Sinister. He called him, oh, how can this be? Oh. That trips me out, man, And you would think, man, Mr. Sinister, man, out of all the years and decades you've been studying the Summers gene, you would have figured out some type of cloaking device or shield or something to where you can just counter those blasts. But he can't. It's inevitable. No matter what Mr. Sinister does in his life, or no matter what this dude creates, he cannot counter that Cyclops blast, man. Cyclops, and I don't think Cyclops is going full blast on him, And if you are Cyclops, you should go full blast on him to just end him right there. Aim for the head. Aim for the head. You remember when Thanos told Thor, you should have aimed for the head. Well, God dog, aim for Sinister's head, because I got a strong feeling. One day Cyclops gonna blast him, and Sinister is either gonna dodge it or he's gonna straight up block that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's gonna happen. But anyways, man, I thought this was a good episode. So scale to 1 to 10, I give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. Hopefully, we see more Storm and all of that. But and hopefully, man, my boy Gambit, he addresses. He at least, I don't know. I think Gambit is gonna have to go. I don't think he can defeat Magneto, and I don't think he's gonna get Rogue back anytime soon. But you know what? Here's how you get Magneto back. You go holler at Scarlet Witch. Go holler at Scarlet Witch. Go holler at Magneto's daughter. Go charm her and date her and all that stuff and have babies with her and marry her and stuff. That way, that'll get Rogue in her feelings. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, I think Scarlet Witch, I think she can check her dad as far as powers. Scarlet Witch can manipulate, damn it. All she got to say is, no more mutants. Oh, what, Dad? You got a problem with me with Gambit? Oh, no more mutants. No more of your powers. You know what I'm saying? Or Gambit, he can go holler at Scarlet Witch and be like, hey, can you just go to Rogue and just say, hey, no more powers. And she don't have her powers, and then guess what? Her and Gambit can be together. Or, you know what I'm saying? But or, I don't know, she can come up with some kind of spell where it's like, no more of Rogue powers. those two can be together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. She can do it. That's Wanda Maximoff. See, I'm thinking about the Wanda Maximoff in the MCU. It's like she can do anything. But anyways, yeah. And then another thing, with Bishop going to his future to find a cure for Nathan Summers, it has me thinking, you know what, man? Like, they didn't have to kill T'Challa off in the MCU. I know I'm circling back to that, but think about it. You could have just taken him to the future, have his body frozen. Somebody take Bishop, take him to the future. Hopefully Deadpool does this. Take T'Challa's body to the future where there's a cure. Or, like I said in one of my videos, check it out. Wanda Maximoff and Shuri, they can go on a journey where, guess what? You know what? Since Shuri tried to help get that stone out of Vision in good faith, well, guess what? Wanda can help Shuri find a cure in the multiverse. Because in the multiverse, there's a cure for every known disease. But anyway, share your thoughts. Let me know what you think about X-Men 97 Episode 3. Student of the Game Podcast. Peace out.